It's Friday, January 6, 2017, and here's what's happening in the world of boxing, specific in Ontario. Welcome to the DO Boxing Show. I'm your host, Dameon Okposio, and there's a few things I want to talk to you about today, being insurance, headgears, and just stuff pertaining to boxing in Ontario. In Ontario, with regards to amateur boxing, there are two amateur associations. There's Boxing Ontario and the Ontario Boxing Association. What I'm going to be talking about today is going to be pertaining to amateur boxing, but with specific regards to the Ontario Boxing Association. So I've been grateful. They've sent out communication and they keep me up to date on the different things that are going on, not just within their organization, but in regards to amateur boxing as well, so that I can bring that information out to you. So just a few things with the Ontario Boxing Association, the OBA. One, they have an excellent track record for safety, an excellent one, and one of the things that they've done is they've started to spearhead brain scanning for amateur boxers here in the province. And so when you register with the Ontario Boxing Association, you get a brain scan done. Now, these brain scans can usually range from $100 to $150 a scan, but the Ontario Boxing Association has got them down to approximately $25 a scan, and you get that before or when you're in the process of getting your license to fight. If you don't have the scan done, then you won't be able to box. But it's a $25 fee. They started doing the scanning as of December 10th, 2016, and I'm sure it's something that the insurance company looks at and goes, that's a good thing for fighters. Two, the Ontario Boxing Association is going back to using headgear for all of its fighters. The elite fighters used to go without headgear and without tank tops, but they're going back to headgear. They still don't have to wear tank tops for the males, and that's really a minor thing as far as people wearing headgears or not. My opinion is I've watched a lot of fights put on by the Ontario Boxing Association. They have a lot of competent officials, and they are right on safety. So, part of the safety of a fighter is what they wear headgears, and there's been a debate over the safety of headgear versus no headgear. But also part of it, in my opinion, has to do with the people that are around the fighters as well. When it comes to referees, coaches, judges, if you see a fighter taking too much abuse, then you can put an end to that fight, or you have to be able to gauge the situation at the time. And the Ontario Boxing Association does a great job of that. However, just with regards to insurance, this satisfies something that the insurance wanted to do, and so they're going back to the headgear, and that's going to be just I don't even think it's going to be anything that people are going to notice really too much, because it's one of those things that have been just associated with amateur boxing anyways. And lastly, the insurance. So insurance is something that's needed for all fighters, and for all gyms, it covers you in terms of liability. So with the communication that the OBA recently sent out, you got to make sure that everybody that is involved with fighters or people that are sparring are registered. So they have to be registered in order to be covered by the insurance. You got to be registered with the Ontario Boxing Association. Boxers, once you're registered, you're covered whether you're in competition or whether you're training. And the people that are working with the fighters, namely the coaches, also have to be registered in order to be insured. I think it's a good reminder that I wanted to put out there, just to remind people, go by the rules. The rules are set there for a reason. They're put in place to protect you, and they're set up so that when something serious does happen, that things can be taken care of. So we saw the situation with Guillermo Campos, and even though that was professional boxing, it was serious, and we saw where insurance can play a vital part in that. And great thing that Campos is okay now, but there's you never know when circumstances are going to take place. I believe it was last year, or sorry, 2 years ago, as I see in this communication, 2 girls from Ontario passed away that had suffered concussions, and this was in the sport of rugby. And so, if there was preventative measures and people very hyper to safety, then you never know with these situations. Maybe they could be avoided, maybe not. I don't know the full circumstances of those situations, but I'm just saying that we want to make sure that we're doing things the right way for ourselves and for the fighters that are involved. So it's a sport, not a game, and the sport of boxing, when it's given its deserved respect, can be an amazing sport. And so I'm grateful again to the OBA for the communication, so that I'm able to pass it along to people. So either if you're involved in the organization or want to get involved in the organization, some of the requirements that are going to be there. So if you have any questions, remember, you can ask us through Twitter at DOKPOSIO, or through email, okposio@hotmail.com. Remember, you can also subscribe through YouTube to get every episode of the DO Boxing Show. Thanks for tuning into this episode, and we'll catch you on the next one.